Up-to-the-minute info on distribution hubs, help, and volunteer opportunities in the Altadena area, please visit Neighborhood Servants or Pasadena Community Coalition on Instagram. The Wild Seed Collective is offering free grant workshops to businesses impacted by the LA wildfires. Find them at wildseedcollective.com. Fuller Psychological and Family Services is offering 12 free therapy sessions to people impacted by the fires who are unable to access care. Contact Executive Director Dr. Ted Koss at tedkoss@fuller.edu. Grief and Hope, the LA Art World Mutual Aid Relief administered by The Brick, is offering help to artists impacted by the blazes. Info is available at the/brick.org. On Instagram, Mutual Aid LAN is updating a Google Sheet in real time with locations, verified GoFundMe sites, and current resources. If you haven't done so yet, it's still a good idea to sign up for Notify LA on your phone for fire alerts and updates. Praying, advocating, and standing with you. KBLA Talk 1580.
Street Science, you're on the air. What do you feel when you hear a record like Tupac's new one?
I love Tupac's new record.
Right, but don't you feel like that creates tension between East and West? He's talking about killing people. I had sex with your wife, and not in those words. But he's talking about, I want to see you deceased.
To live and die in LA, California. What you say about Los Angeles? Still the only place for me. It never rains in the sun. To live and die in LA, where every day we try to fatten our pockets. Us niggas hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing coming, so chasing worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury getting close to heart. What was a friend, now a ghost in the dark. Cold part about it, nigga got smoked by a fiend, trying to floss on him, blind to a broken man's dream. A hard lesson, court cases keep him guessing. Plea bargain ain't an option now, so I'm stressing. Cost me more to be free than a life in the pen. Making money off of cuss words, writing again. Learn how to think ahead, so I fight with my pen. Late night down sunset, like in the sin. What's the worst they can
Welcome
do to
in. Happy Tuesday.
To live and die in LA, on bail, my hands.
You're knocking out with KBLA Talk 1580. A little Tupac to get us started on this Tuesday evening. We are going to get into everything going on in Hollywood tonight. We're going to break it all down for you. Of course, the biggest entertainment stories of the day with the real tea in the behind-the-scenes scoop. I am Jill Munroe. Thank you for checking in with us today. Happy birthday to Cameron Giles. Today is Cam's birthday. Yes, he's an Aquarius. Shout out to him. 48, I believe he is today. Maybe 49. 48 or 49. Dangerously close to that gold anniversary. But, yeah, shout out to him.
I know who he is, but who is Cameron Giles?
Cameron Giles.
Cameron Giles.
Cameron Giles is the rapper Cameron. You guys know I'm a fan of like his and Mason's podcast. It is what it is. I'm a fan of the rapper a little bit. I know he's a little raunchy. And spoiler alert, I am featured on a skit on one of Cameron's albums. So some random tea for you.
Purple Haze?
No, it actually was for the SDE album.
Ah.
So yeah. It is the skit for What Means the World to You.
Ah.
But it was called something else originally.
Ah.
And I am the young lady that is on the skit there. Random news. But welcome in. Happy Tuesday, you guys. So tonight, we are going to get into, Jonathan Majors. He was on the path to be the next key individual in the Marvel universe, and some things happen, legal drama and what have you. But now word on the street is that he may be dropping back into the MC universe. So we're going to get into that. And speaking of headlines and behind the scenes, Michael Jordan, I'm sure he might be just a tad upset with his offspring, Marcus. We're going to get into, Marcus was arrested a few days ago. We're going to get into what happened. We're going to let you hear some of the body cam footage about how he addressed the situation and tell you what he actually was taken into custody for. But of course, before we get into all of that, I got a couple of little updates for you, things you need to be aware of. Now, we know that Drake is right now persona non grata, and we saw Kendrick sweep at the Grammys. However, Drake and Party Next Door had announced that they have a collab album coming out, and it is dropping on Valentine's Day. The album is titled Some Sexy Songs for You. Like I said, it's coming on Valentine's Day. Perfect holiday for it. And it is like his third collaborative project. Remember, he did the 2 projects with Future. He also did Her Loss with 21 Savage. And the 2 obviously have worked together previously. They did Come and See Me, Recognize, Loyal, a couple of others. So, I'm glad that maybe we're getting back to the music. Drake is on tour, the Anita Max tour, so he will be away from the fray this weekend when Super Bowl takes place. However, he's starting his tunnel walk again. And this time when he did his tunnel walk onto the stage, he had a sweatshirt that some are speculating the designer holes in it, were meant to be bullet holes. And the song he walked out to, Buried Alive. I think Drake is sending subliminals too. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into this story about Jonathan Majors, Marcus Jordan, and so much more. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, now I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back into your entertainment news update with Jill Munroe. Something I forgot to mention when we were talking about Drake briefly. I don't know if you noticed when Kendrick was going up on stage, I can't remember if it was Song of the Year or Record of the Year when he was walking up to receive the award, but Dr. Dre and Lucien Grange, who is the CEO of UMG, I might be having his title wrong, but basically the individual that that Kanye said was Drake's rich baby daddy, and the person at the helm of the suit that Drake is now suing, he and Dre gave each other high fives. And some people are saying that right there points to some type of collusion. I say it just points to the West is up. And who is not going to be thrilled that one of their artists is collecting Grammys? I mean, think about it. They said, I don't remember the percentage, but Beyonce's streams of Cowboy Carter went up so much following the Grammy wins. So, you guys keep discounting sometimes some of the things. I know we question the value of these awards, whether it matters, should we put our attention to it. But the reality is, even though they do not define success or value for everything. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Andy?
It always, bothered me, and I never truly understood at the Grammy Awards the difference between Song of the Year and Record of the Year.
It's right. It has to do with writing and the musicianship and things of that nature. Like I don't want to lie and misrepresent, but it has to do with kind of lyrics and the technical components of it, okay. And the other is just the whole thing in scope.
I'm gonna assume the technical and the writing is the Record of the Year. I'm gonna assume.
I don't want to misspeak because I can't remember which is what, but one of those correlates with one of that because I didn't understand it either. And I used to work in the music industry, so I asked, I was like, so what's the difference between these? Because I don't understand. But, shout out to that going down. Now, let's get into... Wait, there's one other thing I wanted to tell you guys before we talk about Jonathan Majors. So, 50 Cent, he of the clapback, he of the I'm going to talk my ish, he recently hinted that this upcoming season of BMF was probably going to be the last season. And I don't know if you're aware, Big Meech, who is one of the subjects in BMF, was recently released from prison. And the other day, he took a photo with Rick Ross. I don't know why he did that. I mean, he could do what he wants to do. He's a grown man. But 50 is having little conniptions and is upset. 50 then posted a photo of a rat and had some other commentary underneath there. So are we about to witness another fallout of 50 and individuals? Is he just doing this to re-stir up interest whenever BMF finally makes its return to TV? I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. I'm like, you was all team BMF before. He can't take a picture with Rick Ross. Rick Ross made a whole song after that man.
Well, 50 and Rick Ross had their issues.
I know. I mean, I know they have their issues because 50 put out the adult tape of Rick Ross's baby's mom, and I mentioned she's currently on the Wags to Riches show on Netflix. That is one of the story arcs that they're discussing about her. So I know that they've had beef forever and ever, but I'm just saying, who you calling a rat, 50? You calling Ricky a rat or Meech a rat? Because it was kind of unclear.
You're right. But one thing I know about 50, anybody that kind of affiliates themselves with any of his so-called enemies,
he's coming for him.
He's coming for you.
Right. So, well, we'll have to see what happens with that. All right, so let's get into this Jonathan Majors story. Now, that Jonathan was poised to take over the MCU universe as the next big bad villain in the franchise, right? But some legal drama derailed that, and they basically have erased Jonathan Majors and Kang from the storyline, right? He was basically being positioned to take over the space left by Josh Brolin's character as oh my gosh, I just forgot his name, the one that made the finger snap in the Infinity Stones. You've never seen the Marvel movies, Andy? Thanos. He was poised to take over that, right? But all of that happened, and there was supposed to be a film, The Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret War. But obviously they scrapped that. They've gone in another direction. They have recreated a role, well, not recreated. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back into the franchise, this time as a villain, Doctor Doom, right? But it's said that Kevin Feige, who is the head of Marvel Studios, is reportedly considering bringing Jonathan Majors back. The idea is to put Majors in a future Marvel project, and this is according to Screen Geek, and that they'll wrap up some loose ends for the character and close the character's story officially. Right? Now, they already restructured Avengers The Kang Dynasty into Avengers Doomsday, and that's where I mentioned Robert Downey Jr. is going to be taking on that role instead of playing Iron Man in the film. But it is interesting to me that they went through all of this to erase Jonathan Majors from the franchise. You know, there was this whole multiverse thing where it went across several films. Ant-Man and Wasp 2, I believe it was. Little bit of hint of it in Spider-Man Coming Home, or one of them. And so for them to want to circle back around, I wonder if the upcoming magazine Dreams that is dropping, which had Oscar buzz attached to it for Jonathan before this incident happened. The film was scrapped by its distributor, but has now been picked up by Zeus Network. Yes, that Zeus Network. I guess they're trying to legitimize themselves, and step in. And so they will be putting it out. I believe it will be in theaters. No word if it will also be playing on the Zeus Network. However, I do think it's interesting that they're circling back to that and warming up to it. We know what changed, but what's really changed? Do they see the error of their ways? Do they see things aren't making sense? It's so interesting how the once canceled, and I don't know if Jonathan Majors was canceled, but are now kind of slowly but surely making their way back. Like, well, maybe we just need to wrap up the storyline. And then it's going to be, well, maybe we'll just include it a little bit more. It was so fantastic. I feel like people have, and I'm not necessarily saying that he should or should not have been removed from the franchise and all of those things, but I think that we are definitely seeing a turning back of the clock as far as approach and thought process to a lot of things that in the last few years have been really touchy and sort of, tiptoe and eggshell. Now people are getting, I feel, a little more comfortable in opening the door back, saying, well, we're not really worried about that as much. Of course, the YouTube chat is always buzzing. Baxter Mock says, it just goes to show you how little black male talent there is in Hollywood that Majors is under consideration. Well, I mean, that is an interesting point. There's several actors out there. So, they could have continued the character and recast. It's not like we haven't seen that. If we think about the original Hulk in the Marvel franchise, I can't remember, I'm blanking on the actor's name right now, before Eric, and I can't remember his last name, took over. But we've seen, switch ups. We've seen characters be replaced. I know that they did not want to do that with Black Panther, but I feel like with Kang, they probably could have just recast, but they opted not to. Forrest Harrison says, Hollywood should fix his image. He was innocent. DJ Black 909 says, I had a feeling this would happen after a reasonable cooling off period. Charge them triple what your original fee was, King. I mean, we will see. Pretty Brown Mimi says, if Jonathan Majors gets his mainstream status, will he and Megan remain together? I'm just saying. I think he and Megan will remain together no matter what. Megan is deeply, deeply in love with that man.
Mimi, stop being messy.
Andy with message. So, I mean, I think, and also let's think about this. Megan has been spending, they both have a great deal of time in New York. Her show Harlem has wrapped up now, final season. So, I mean, they might have some time on their hands. It will be interesting to see what the response is to Magazine Dreams. If Zeus being affiliated with it puts it in, some type of strange existence where people largely ignore it because of that connection. His performance, again, if you read some of the clips from Sundance where they discussed it, they were talking award buzz. So my understanding is it is an incredible piece of work. But is that enough to get him back into the good graces of mainstream? We will have to see. Now, remember, I don't know if I said this, but if at any time you guys want to get in on this conversation, 800-920-1580, feel free to tap in. So that's what's going on with Jonathan. We'll wait to see what develops, but it is interesting, and I think it is a familiar point because there is a lot of young black male talent in Hollywood emerging different levels. And the idea that they're like, no, we need to maybe circle and bring him back into the fold seems like a testing ground for something. All right, let's get into Michael Jordan's son, shall we? So Marcus Jordan was arrested over the weekend. He was arrested on possession and resisting arrest. We are going to listen to the audio of the body cam footage. I will tell you this. He was definitely buzzed. Sounds like it. So what they're saying happened is he claimed he took a wrong turn somewhere. He was driving in, near Orlando, and he got stuck on the train tracks. He was in the company of a young lady. I'm not sure who she was, but he was trying to get his car off of the tracks. And when the officers pulled up, he was looking for their assistance with the matter. And let's get into this audio.
You are stuck. Come here. You know the trains come by right now, right?
No, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the matter.
We thought we were making a right, and I turned onto the train tracks apparently. I'm trying.
But yeah, we're not getting back in the car right now, okay? The reason why, so.
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Keep your hands in your pockets.
There's nothing in my pocket.
That's all, I'm gonna pass you down a little bit. Put your hands up.
Come on, man. Bro, I'm Marcus Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's son. Okay. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to get home, and I made a wrong turn. Okay? And clearly, we would just like to get our car off of the train tracks. Which we were not trying to be on.
I've already got concerns for your level of impairment anyways, okay? So that's why. Because I can smell alcohol coming from you, and you're on the train tracks. Okay? So
come on, man.
Just listen to me. That's why I don't want you back behind the wheel anyways, okay?
I'm fine behind the wheel. I just would like to get my car out of this.
We'll deal with that after this, okay? We'll deal with that after this. But that's why I had to get you out of the car, okay? Because I hear spinning tires, I hear slurred speech from you. You're driving on train tracks.
I'm not slurring anything, and I'm
okay. I'm letting you know. I have concerns. Okay?
Well, I appreciate that.
Driving a vehicle, I can't let you back behind the car and drive a vehicle.
I appreciate your concerns.
Yeah, I don't want.
But I am not inebriated. I'm not anything that cannot drive home.
90464.
The thing is,
okay, we can.
I'm not familiar with this area.
Listen, you get the idea. He was twisted. He was a little twisted. When they searched him, they found a clear plastic baggie with a white substance. They did test the substance, and it was, in fact, cocaine. And so, he did throw out the card. Do you know who I am? I'm Michael Jordan's son. And Marcus, baby, you're 34. It is time to, I just feel like, look, if you're going to be indulging, right? why are you rolling with stuff like that? Like, I just feel like you set yourself up to be a target. You ended up on train tracks. You're in a $300,000 car or whatever. I don't know. Maybe have the young lady get in the driver's seat. I just feel like he continuously shows us that he doesn't always necessarily utilize great judgment. And the pulling I'm Michael Jordan's son card says a little bit of entitlement is in the mix as well. Andy?
I was going to say that maybe a little bit of entitlement, maybe a little bit of privilege. I mean, this just goes to show that this is something that he's probably been doing for a long, long time.
Long time. Listen, when we come forward, we have a caller on the line. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into more trending topics and this YouTube chat because it is flamed up. And of course, more trending topics and headlines. You were locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, news, traffic, and sports on the other side.
Better learn about the dress code, B's and C's. All the mother taking copycats, D's is G's. I love Cali like I love women. Cause every in LA got a little bit of thug in them. We might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this, we'll burn this shit down, get us pissed. To live and die in LA. Let my angel sing.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. FBI agents are suing the Department of Justice to block a list of those who investigated Capitol riot cases fearing retaliation. Crews in D.C. are still recovering remains from last week's mid-air collision. Officials have identified 55 of the 67 victims. The plane's cockpit is set for removal today ahead of winter weather that could slow recovery efforts. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is urging state lawmakers for financial aid to cover a $1 million shortfall in migrant services. Speaking in Albany, he noted the city still cares for 46,000 migrants, down from a peak of 96,000, while shelter demand rises due to domestic migration. And this year's Met Gala themed Tailored for You will spotlight menswear alongside the Superfine Tailoring Black Style exhibit. Honorary co-chairs include LeBron James, Pharrell Williams, Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, and Lewis Hamilton. The event is set for May 5th. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Calabasas, a crash on the 101 southbound before Parkway Calabasas, blocking the 2 middle lanes. That drive slowing out of Agora Hills from Chesboro. Also, Ventura, tough on the 101 southbound, just past the Highway 33. 2 left lanes have been blocked, sending you back from PCH. And let's also check out Santa Ana. It's a wreck, 55 northbound before Edinger. They're clearing them out of the carpool lane. The drive is tough away from the 405. Burbank, stall on the 134 westbound before Buena Vista. Second lane from the left block, slowing you down from Forest Lawn Drive.
Need better hot water? Water Heaters Only makes replacing your water heater easy. With one call and great pricing, Water Heaters Only can have you back in hot water the same day, within hours of your call. Visit waterheatersonly.com. That's waterheatersonly.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers introduced Luka Doncic to the LA media Tuesday morning at their training facility in El Segundo. The 5-time first-team All-NBA selection admitted he was initially disappointed that the Dallas Mavericks traded him, but he said it's a dream come true to play with LeBron James. Doncic said LeBron was his idol while growing up in Slovenia. The Lakers were in New York when LeBron learned of the trade late Saturday night. He called the 25-year-old Doncic that night to welcome him to the Lakers family. A strained calf muscle has kept Doncic off the court since Christmas Day. He will not play tonight against the Clippers or Thursday against Golden State. Doncic will participate in a 5-on-5 scrimmage in Wednesday's practice. If Doncic has no setbacks from the scrimmage, he could be ready to make his Lakers debut in Saturday's home game against Indiana. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I have a dream today.
They said it couldn't be done. They said we wouldn't make it. But history had other plans. This February, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates the dreamers, the doers, and the breakthrough makers of Black History Month. Your station, your stories. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
For 75 remarkable years, our Authors Study Club has partnered with the City of Los Angeles to present African American Heritage Month celebrations. This Friday, February 7th, Mayor Karen Bass and Council President Marquise Harris Dawson will continue this extraordinary tradition with a Diamond Anniversary celebration for the ages. Join Honorary Chair Yvonne Wheeler, President of the LA County Federation of Labor, as we honor today's champions. Join actor and author Courtney B. Vance at the Central Library on Saturday, February 8th for a conversation on Black men healing. Additional free events will continue throughout the month of February, sponsored by the Brotherhood Crusade, LA Metro, and ABC7. Don't miss your chance to be part of this month-long unprecedented legacy. For more information and to RSVP, log on to oascla.org. This is your moment. This is our history. This is Los Angeles leading the nation again.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We had to let that Rick James ride for a little bit. Welcome back in to KBLA Talk 1580. You are here with Jill Munroe to get your entertainment news update on this good Tuesday evening. Andy, what made you play little Rick James? Is he an Aquarius?
Nah, we were talking about getting high. So I originally wanted to play Mary Jane, but this Cold-Blooded is too fire. So
no, the bass line. Come on. Rick James' bass lines are legendary. Gets it in.
For real.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Mr. James. Shout out Marcus Jordan, I guess. He's going to be okay. He did make bail. So on the line, we have Eric from Carson. Eric, you want to talk a little bit about that Jonathan Majors story?
Yes. How you doing, Jill?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And I first think that, I work for the government, and if I got into some trouble, I would hope that my job would stay neutral and be as supportive as they can. And I understand that
until the outcome.
Performing Yeah, okay. And so I understand that entertainers have a little bit of a different spectrum to work with, but Marvel is pretty much telling Jonathan, we're going to use you. And so if I were him, I would make my money, go on and be happy that you got an opportunity to make that money. Excuse me, I was running. And hope that the fans will have a support for you, that they're going to go to bat for you when they re-expose you for their own personal gain. And if it's a chance that they have given him an opportunity, and they're not doing it for him, they're doing it for them. So now he has an opportunity to see that you are disposable. You're like trash, no disrespect. We'll throw you out the minute we don't need you anymore, and we'll pull you back in to manipulate and use you for our own personal gain. So play the game and let them use you, and you use them, and I would figure out a way to try to get my fans, specifically black people, but we know that Marvel, I don't think blacks are the number one fans. You can educate us on that, of Marvel movies, but that's what I think, and I'd like to have your input on my input.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. Help me help you to help us, right? I feel like that is what happens with a lot of business interactions, right? One of the 48 laws of power is when you were going to someone for help, you appeal to their best interest. Why helping why helping the individual is really going to be beneficial for you. So, I mean, with a lot of things, with really most things, people aren't acting out of the kind of their heart out of the kindness of their heart or just because there is some benefit. So Marvel has gone through, I think this was phase 5, this most recent phase. It's been a little rocky. They had to regroup, not just because of what happened with Kang, but they were putting out a lot of product, a lot of TV product too. Not all of it was being well received. And so they're kind of reconfiguring. And I mean, realistically, the multiverse thing was so big. It was obviously being set up. I think to just do away with it and we're just going to pretend like it never existed is kind of, you can do it. Much like, how many times have we seen the origins of Spider-Man's story told over the years? Probably 4 or 5 times. You could do it, but sometimes people get tired of the retreads or the misdirections. I think that they saw whatever Jonathan had already filmed. They had their feelings about it. And like we've mentioned, time seems to heal all wounds. Maybe not all, but a lot. And really, I think that they're because it's not set in stone yet, but they're looking at, well, what's going to happen with this magazine dreams thing? 2, what has been the audience or the fans' response to Jonathan as he's moved his way through? And 3, where are we at as a franchise? And I think that if they can slip it in there and see what happens, because he was the one that got the most excitement going. People are kind of on the fence, so it seems. That could all change when the projects actually come out. But I think it could be a good move for both sides. And here's the thing, Jonathan's going to want to work. He's going to want to work mainstream. And if he can step back in with those good graces and look where we are as a country, things are slightly different. It can work. So I think they'd be using each other because it's not like he's not going to get paid and it's not like the exposure is not going to be there. So why not?
Can I say one last thing?
Of course.
If I were Jonathan Majors, and I'm not in entertainment, but I have a brain, and if I was Jonathan Majors, I would be trying to get as much exposure before the movie, then I would be trying to get on some type of whatever the most talk show with the most notoriety. I would want to be doing interviews with everybody. I'm back. I would put myself out there, and so I would work the studio. I would make piece. Myself. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would get my publicist on this, and just because he's got one bite of this apple, and he better take a big one. That's my opinion.
Well, we shall see. Thank you for calling in, Eric. I appreciate it. Thanks for locking in and checking us out tonight. So, everybody else in the chat, let us know what you think. Do you think that Marvel should let bygones be bygones? Should Jonathan be wary about stepping back into that? For our guy, Marcus Jordan, do you think he should consider a low profile? I mean, really, we know he owns Trophy Room. I think there's 2 of them. I believe that they settled the case that he was allegedly selling stuff out of the back door as far as product. It just sometimes, right? Marcus reminds me of why sometimes you hear extremely famous or extremely wealthy people discuss how they don't want to give their children things, or they want them to work so that they appreciate what they have and to make sure that they have that work ethic and respect the things, because it doesn't have to be this way. I'm not commenting really, I mean, I am just a little on what you do with your time in your life, but I just think your profile. The type of things that make you a target. So to me, have a fall guy, you got a $300,000 car. You don't got no little skips and little places to hide things in the car. I don't know. I just would like him to move smarter.
I also think that, like I said before, that he's done this several times, but also it sounds like that he's, came into police encounters on a handful of occasions as well, and possibly got away with it.
He probably has. I'm sure he has. Some people don't care. But listen, he had some photos of him in the sugar booger, so I just want him to move a little smarter. That's all. That is all. Even if you get out of the thing, move a little smarter. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. We get into these comments, all that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know what I forgot to tell you guys about Marcus Jordan? He sang the entire way to the station in the back of the police car. He sang. He had a song to sing. He wanted to get his off. So, good luck, Marcus. Let me get to some of these comments in the chat. Lucas Frank says, ask Lucy and Grange's dad about making children start from zero. Listen, I am not saying that you should, and I'm not saying that I don't understand. Remember, I also talked about black nepotism. But I do think that even within that, having the ability to give your children the world, there still has to be goals built in there. You still have to show them the value in putting in work for something. You still have to have them understand that whether you get extended the privilege, there will be times when you will not, and you will have to prove yourself. I mean, obviously, you look at some of the Nepo babies, right, of before, the ones that we feel have talent, the ones that we feel are just socialites, and kind of what the work and the resumes look like. You see the difference in some. That's my opinion with that. Let's see what else is going on here. Pretty Brown Mimi says, I think Jonathan should go back into the Marvel universe, make his money, be careful. There's a thin line between work and personal life. Remember how Hollywood dropped you and proceed with caution. I agree. Morris Phillips says, it's Jonathan Majors' time. He's creating a new audience. No offense to Reverend Denzel. Well, Denzel is a reverend now, pastor. What? I know he got baptized and did the whole thing. Morris Phillip also says there's a market for black stars because Denzel is getting old. If time doesn't heal all hurt and pain, money can. So I think it's just, what does the audience want? I mean, it depends on who has the money. Some are like, whatever's going to get me green, I don't care who's involved. Some are going to want to structure what that looks like. So we'll be curious to see how this all kind of rolls out and develops. Morris Phillips says, I'm not paying my 18-year-old daughter's auto insurance. It costs to be an adult. Let me tell you how I would have cried if at 18 my parents would have made me pay my own car insurance. Shoot, pay for my own gas, any of that. Eventually I did though. So anyway, before we get out of here tonight, there's still a couple of more stories that I want to let you know about. So we know that the Met Gala, is coming up in May 5th to be exact. And the lineup as far as the honorary chairs was announced. LeBron James is one, A$AP Rocky, Lewis Hamilton, Coleman Domingo, Pharrell Williams. They're all co-chairs. But other names have been added to the host committee. And, it seems very black this year. The theme is basically menswear, right? A different spin on that. Tailored to you is what it's the official name. And sartorially, it's focusing on black dandy fashion from the 19th century. Dandy is kind of like fly, swag, all of that. So in addition to those names that I mentioned, Angel Reese, Andre 3000, Doechii, Dapper Dan, a legend, the 80s legend, flipping the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci, or whatever into those custom-made classic suits from back in the day. Simone Biles and Sha'Carri Richardson are all part of host committees. So I am very curious to see what this is all going to look like. I do think it's interesting that LeBron is on the chair. I mean, hey, what if The Lakers are going far in the playoffs at that point in time. LeBron, that is second round of the playoffs right there. Maybe the end of first, start of the second. Depends on what happens. I'm concerned, but I think it's going to be a nice night, a nice event. And it is interesting to me. I get it's black dandy fashion, but again, not that I don't like it. I love it. I'm just curious. What is going to be the outcome of this? Andy?
They should have put Westbrook or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the board as opposed to LeBron, because those are the fashion gurus of the league.
They are, but I think LeBron, to me, when it comes to menswear, LeBron is a man's man, right? He has classic fashion sense as far as how he dresses. He does take some risks, but I think it's very tailored. I think he fits into that.
So you think so the theme is not flamboyance?
It can be. Yeah, it is. That's a part of it, 100%. But I just think overall, for like an ambassador for menswear, I think they're getting their flamboyance from Coleman. Because, he's going to bring it. He is going to step on the scene with his gangster lean and just give. Give. Morris Phillips says the Lakers will miss AD's rim protection. Listen, we're going to have a deep conversation about this. Will they? I know.
Unless they make a move.
I mean.
So I don't know about no Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes isn't going to cut it for you?
I don't know.
No? We'll have to see. Pretty Brown Mimi says some of LeBron's hits or misses. As far as dressing, listen, I feel like LeBron does very well as far as classic menswear. There's different patterns that you can incorporate, fabrics and stuff like that. Not basic, just very tailored and savant.
Kobe was more of a fashion guy than LeBron, in my opinion. He had the whole Italian fitted look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But LeBron, he just basic.
Sometimes LeBron puts it on.
I don't look at him like what fashion trend has he ever started?
I can agree with you in that sense. I don't think he is a trendy dresser, but I think he gives classic tailoring, which is a part of this story. Classic cuts, the way that the suiting that he puts on. LeBron, when he puts his stuff together, it feels very distinguished. There we go. That's something I'll say. Distinguished. Morris Phillips says, don't call Russell Westbrook for fashion advice. Hey. I know that Russ does some ambitious things sometimes, but I appreciate his style sometimes, And shout out to Russ, LA native, losing her high, UCLA. Shout out to that. Summer says, Westbrook be looking crazy with his fits. Everybody got an opinion, sometimes, but he has his store and his brand, Honor the Gift, and they have some nice hoodies in that collection and some sweats and some things, it's not for everybody, but it's for some. Forrest Harrison says, Russell Westbrook dresses like a rich bum. A rich bum. I guess that means that that the stuff is expensive, but it still looks like he just reached into the hamper. Is that what you're trying to imply?
Thrift store shopping, huh?
Maybe.
That's J. Cole, actually. He's the rich bum.
Oh, okay. I feel that. Pretty Brown Mimi says the NFL guys have better fashion looks than the NBA guys.
Like?
Hard pass on that. I disagree strongly. There are some guys the NFL guys really just started getting into fashion. They saw all the attention that the NBA's tunnel walks were getting and that it was a thing. And they're like, wait a minute. So now we have, the NFL version, and some of those people be tripping. Jalen Hurts really be dressing like, they say he's 90s fine. He really dresses like a 90s fine icon. Jalen is not the sharpest dresser.
His chains be stunting on these rappers, though.
Oh, yeah.
Blinging.
Listen, they're so pretty. They glisten so nicely.
Oh, you got you a Jalen Hurts crush?
No.
Okay.
I think he's attractive. I think he's handsome. But no. Huh?
I hope they lose.
I hope they lose because they beat the Rams. Shout out to the QB. I know he's from SoCal. But on the other hand, the hater in me doesn't know if I want to see the Chiefs do their three-peat thing. And I did mention the other day, they're going to have to pay Pat Riley for utilizing that three-peat in their thing.
But he gave him the grant.
He gave him he gave them permission.
Yeah.
But some will have to pay for some of it, and all the proceeds from the three-peat usage from that slogan, no matter who uses it, go to the Pat Riley Foundation. So there's that.
Real quick.
Yes.
Since we just talking about football a little bit. LA, what's going on? We're getting rid of AD. We're getting rid of Cooper Kupp.
Oh, I know.
What's going on, LA?
The reset.
Come on.
It's a reset. We are, doing it over. Listen, tonight's show was packed. We had a lot of things that we were discussing. I always like to hear your opinion, so leave us your feedback. And make sure that you are locked in here tomorrow, 6 p.m., to get in on your trending topics and headlines. And tomorrow, maybe I'll get into that Amber Rose story because we didn't have time for it tonight, but we'll talk about it. So listen, thank you as always for locking in with us. Stay tuned, stay here, because you know what's coming up next. It's the voice of reason. Zoe Williams, here to help you get your mind right, get your life right, get yourself sorted, get better communication skills, all of that and more. Thanks for locking in with me. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Have a good night.
Cold-blooded. What more can I say, baby?